It's time for New Palestine Dragons basketball on newpalradio.com. Today's game is brought to you by All-Star Turf Management, D&D Strictly Storage, Best in Sight Family Eye Care, Pork Vet Solutions, Hoosier Huddle, Real Life Church, and Catch the Shot Photography. Now let's head courtside for all of tonight's play-by-play.
New Palestine Dragons basketball is on the air from courtside at the Dragons Den, New Palestine High School. It's time for this afternoon's game between the Perry Meridian Falcons, who come in with a record of 9-6, and the New Palestine Dragons, who come in with a mark of 10-6. It's a rare Saturday matinee basketball game for the boys as they play their first game in 8 days after a tough 76-72 loss to Yorktown last Friday night. For Perry Meridian, it's their second game of the week. They knocked off Southport 47-37 on Wednesday. Along with Mike Petrie, I'm Andrew Smith. Glad you've joined us. Of course, afternoon hoops, because the girls take center stage this week, and it's their sectional week, and the New Palestine girls basketball team in action tonight against Mount Vernon. Fourth straight year the Dragons have been in a sectional final, and so they will play at 7. We will have radio coverage of that for you on newpalradio.com. But before we get to that, let's turn our attention to this game. And Mike, for this New Palestine team, they lost 2 of their last 3 games in a really busy, compressed week, 3 games in 4 nights. And it's been a nice opportunity for them to step back, reset, and now head into a pretty tough stretch of 6 games that will prepare them for the state tournament.
Yeah, feast or famine for sure for this squad, as they are, you play 5 games in 7 days, I believe it was, and then you're playing now, then you get an 8-game stretch, so it all evens out. But this will be an interesting stretch to see what they've been able to develop in practice in the intervening 8 days, because you are coming up to the end of your regular season. You're getting prepared for the sectionals. The bad news is that the loss to Yorktown probably essentially takes you out of any contention for the conference championship, but it's going to allow this team to refocus and get themselves ready for, there's one goal now, and that is to win the sectional.
Which New Palestine has done the last 2 years, and so games like this are games that prepare you for that, because number one, you're facing a very good player, Jaden Taylor, for Perry Meridian, a Butler signee, averaging 25.1 a game. He scores more than half of their points, and he's obviously a very difficult player to deal with, and so you've got a great player you have to play against. You've got a well-coached team in Mark James. His record speaks for itself, 584 wins and a state championship in 39 years, and has coached some great players over the years, more recently Jawan Johnson, Aaron Henry,
yep,
and of note, as well as a number of others. But you've got a team that they're going to be patient on offense. They're going to play a pretty tight defense. You have to value every possession, and then this leads you into that final stretch of getting ready for the state tournament and giving you a lot of different styles you're going to see before you head to Richmond here in a month.
Yeah, it's an interesting team in Perry Meridian that they're a very efficient offensive team. They don't score a lot of points from the game standpoint because they play such a slow offense and a very patient offense. And they're going to test you defensively with that patience by making you wait and wait and wait until they get the right shot. They don't turn the ball over. They generally are an excellent shooting team. They don't rebound a ton. But what they do is they wait for their shot, and when they get that shot, they generally make it.
Yeah, for New Palestine, one thing we've seen is that that was something that was really a struggle for them against Yorktown in their most recent game, was keeping the Tigers in front of them. Yorktown ended up shooting a really high percentage in that game. They were close to 60%, 24 of 43 in that contest, and went to the line 30 times. I think that was something that Coach Whitaker told us after the game on Friday. They got to keep people in front of him, and we were facing a guy like a Jaden Taylor keeping somebody in front of you is really going to be critical.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that as much as anything, what they've got to do is get off to a better start in games. The matinee tip is an interesting time because it can test getting your energy ready for a game. They haven't really had to do that. They didn't have a tournament this season yet. So it's an interesting test early on that. What I was looking at is going back to the new year against their first game against Delta, then in 8 of the 9 games, they've gotten themselves in a hole in the first quarter, and they've got to stop that trend right now.
Yeah, that's really key. And you look, some of those have been pretty significant as well. And they've been able to climb out of some of those, right. But it's not a habit you want to get into. And it's something that this New Palestine team will look to do as we get ready for tip-off. Today, the Dragons against the Perry Meridian Falcons. Somebody that really has been playing well offensively. Blaine Nunnally, he had 31 points against Yorktown last Friday night. But another player that's really been stepping up is Kyle Bastian. He had 2 really good games against Heron and then again against Yorktown. And now coming off the bench, he's filling that 6th man role, but he gives you so much, and being 6'3", can kind of play anywhere on the floor, and he's somebody that really has drawn some important defensive assignments as well.
As much as anything, because there are players for New Palestine who have the quickness, can stay with the other team's top guard, and can stop penetration. But what Kyle Bastian and Ian Stevens have been able to do this year is not only do that, but also have the size to then not only stop penetration, but to turn it to the defense's advantage in a lot of cases. He's going to have to do that again. With Jaden Taylor at 6'4", that's going to be a tough task.
And that will be, I think, one thing that is a good sight is Steele Brassfield is in the starting lineup. He was he missed the latter part of the Yorktown game with an ankle injury, but he is back and healthy and ready to go, and he will be a big boost for this New Palestine team having him back healthy.
Yeah, if there was any benefit to that eight-day break, it was that he was able to get back fully healthy without missing any time.
Something we'll keep an eye on as well is that Luke Burgess and Ian Stevens, a couple of players who play a lot of minutes, played 3 quarters in the JV game, so they'll be available for 2 quarters in this one, but that does certainly mean Coach Whitaker probably plans to rely on his starters, his top 7, especially in those first and third quarters.
Yeah, the top players in particular, and it means, Kyle Bastian and Damon Hockett have probably moved back ahead on the pecking order. For a long time, Ian Stevens was essentially the first guy off the bench.
And so that'll be something to keep an eye on as well. The New Palestine Dragons taking on the Perry Meridian Falcons. We're going to take our first break of the night. When we come back, we'll bring you the starting lineups and tip-off. That all comes up right after this. This is Dragon Basketball on NewPalRadio.com. Our broadcast is presented by All-Star Turf Management.
All-Star Turf Management is the best choice for the lawn you really want. Our superior lawn care services, including fertilizer, weed control, aerations, mowing, and more, are designed to improve and maintain your property season after season. Our combination of using the highest quality chemical products applied by educated, licensed professionals is what your property needs to become a place we both will be proud of. With flexible scheduling and service programs, we have a package that's right for your lawn and your budget. Locally owned and operated by Nathan Johnson, All-Star Turf Management is proud to support the New Palestine community and Dragon Athletics. To learn more or for a free estimate, call All-Star Turf Management at 861-1234 or visit myallstarlawn.com. That's 861-1234 or myallstarlawn.com for All-Star Turf Management. D&D Strictly Storage in New Palestine is your home for storage needs. D&D Strictly Storage offers a wide variety of storage sizes from 5 by 10 feet up to 10 by 30 feet. They also offer indoor and outdoor parking for your boats and RVs. Locally owned and operated by Don and Maria Blackwell, D&D Strictly Storage is who to call for your storage solution. They're located on County Road 400 West, just north of the railroad tracks in New Palestine. Call them at 861-9231. Again, that's 861-923-14 for D&D Strictly Storage. Mention this ad and get your second month free with any rental.
You're listening to The Dragons on NewPalRadio.com.
It's about time for tip-off between the Dragons and the Perry Meridian Falcons. Glad you've joined us this afternoon. Along with Mike Petrie, I'm Andrew Smith. Let's give you the starting lineups for today's game. First for New Palestine, under the tutelage of sixth-year head coach Trent Whitaker. The front court, Eli Stevens, a 6'1 senior averaging 4.1 points a game, and Steele Brassfield, a 6'5 junior averaging 16.8 points a contest. In the middle, Matthew Brown, a 6'4 senior averaging 8 points a game. In the backcourt, C.J. Oliver, a 5'10 senior averaging 5.8 points a contest, and Blaine Nunnally, a 5'10 sophomore, coming in with a 16.6 scoring average. He scored 31 in the Dragons' most recent game a week ago Friday. For Perry Meridian, under the tutelage of 39th year head coach Mark James, he's in his third season in Perry Township. The front court, Patrick Schott, a 6'3 sophomore averaging 3.5 points a game, and Noah Pendleton, a 6'4 senior averaging 4.7 points a game. The backcourt, Mason Corsaro, 5'9 senior at 2.6 a game. Reggie McDonald, a 5'9 senior averaging 7.4 a game. And Jaden Taylor, the Butler signee, a 6'4 senior averaging 25.1 points and 5.9 rebounds a contest. And so that's how we will look to start this game. And obviously Jaden Taylor will be a focus of New Palestine's defensive game plan as he scores 25 of their 49 points a contest.
Yeah, but, on the flip side, he's been the focus of everybody's game plan, and he's still averaging 25 points. So, a lot of what Perry Meridian does really well is everybody knows their role, and they play to that role. Guys that are able to take shots, they take the shots. The guys that are not the shooters on the team, they do not.
C.J. Oliver and Reggie McDonald, two smallest guys on the floor, are going to jump center to start this game. The ball is in the air, and Oliver tips it back to Eli Stevens, and away we go. The New Palestine fans like that.
I think he's going to demand you put that on his stat sheet the rest of the season that he won a tip.
I will do that. Here's Steele Brassfield pitching it inside to Stevens, who posts up behind the defense, lays it up and in. And Eli Stevens gives New Palestine an early 2-0 lead.
A brilliant cut there by Stevens on the backside, and Brassfield got in the air and kept his header on a swivel, found Stevens.
Reggie McDonald will start the offense. They'll feed over to Schott now up top for Noah Pendleton. He'll send it back to McDonald on the right wing. Skip it over to Pendleton, who will launch a three. It will not go, and Matthew Brown has the rebound for New Palestine.
A good defensive possession, ends in the rebound by Brown.
Brassfield tried to take it down Main Street, but his pocket was picked right before he was able to get a shot off. And here come the Falcons. McDonald into the lane, out to Pendleton. Will feed Taylor, and up top for McDonald. Left to the top of the key, C.J. Oliver guards him. It's Eli Stevens who has the defensive matchup on Jaden Taylor, who gets the ball in the right wing. Pump fakes, spin move, cut off by Stevens. Tried to feed it inside. It was deflected in the air, out of bounds. Last touched by Patrick Schott of Perry Meridian. It'll be New Palestine ball.
That was a great job by Stevens, forcing Taylor back towards the rest of the defense to where his help was. He slid a little bit. If Taylor had kept his dribble, he might have been able to continue, but he was a little fortunate because Taylor picks up his dribble just as Stevens slid to the outside and cut off that action.
Very quickly, Mark James wants a 30-second timeout, and he does not appear to be rather pleased with the way this game has started, especially offensively. He's always been an intense coach, and you can kind of see that intensity in the conversation he is having with his team. And so New Palestine with possession at a 2-0 lead. We have played 80 seconds of this game as we're back to action. Brassfield over to Oliver, left wing. They'll send cutters up top. Blaine Nunnally catch and shoot three. Top of the key, front of the rim, no good. Matthew Brown fights for the rebound. Oliver can't quite secure it. It's loose on the floor and comes to Reggie McDonald of Perry Meridian. The Falcons in the two-tone blue uniforms, the Columbia blue numbers, the navy blue uniforms. Noah Pendleton has it between the rings, guarded by Brassfield. New Palestine in man-to-man defense. Tries to feed it over to the wing to Taylor. It's picked off by Oliver. He'll take it all the way and lay it in. C.J. Oliver with a steal and score gives New Palestine a 4-0 lead.
Great job by Oliver, and a great job by his teammate. I think that was Brasfield, kind of walled off a help defender on the fast break.
Noah Pendleton up top for Perry Meridian. Slides it over to Reggie McDonald. Dragons nearly broke that up. McDonald to the free throw line. Now he'll curl back out to the high circle, pick up his dribble, and go back over to the high right side. Now to Pendleton between the rings. We'll bounce it back to McDonald and reset the offense. 5:37 to go first quarter. New Palestine leads at 4-0. Pendleton with it, left wing, up top for a catch and shoot. 18-footer from shot that will not go. And Blaine Nunnally secures the rebound. He'll push it into the front court. Into the corner, steal Brasfield, catch and shoot threes off the front of the rim, no good. And Schott has the rebound for the Falcons.
That was a little bit quick on the Dragons side, but they've done a great job defensively. That's 3 possessions now where Taylor hasn't touched the ball.
Reggie McDonald misses a 15-footer, and Nunnally tried to drive the other way. The ball's knocked out of his hands, out of bounds. Possession will stay with New Palestine. First substitution of the game is Isaiah Brinker for Perry Meridian. He's a 5'8 junior. Averages 1.7 a game.
Really, outside of Mason Corsaro, there's not a lot of shooters on this Perry Meridian squad, and they've been taking jump shots, which if you're the Dragons, you'll settle for that all day.
Corsaro's barely touched the ball in this game as well. As the Dragons inbound to Stevens, up top Nunnally. We've played 3 minutes. It's a 4-0 New Palestine lead. Back to Stevens on the right wing. They work it through Brown over to Oliver, left wing. Send the cutters through. Now to Nunnally, top of the key. Catches working on Corsaro. Backs it out to the top. Now feeds Oliver. He'll drive down the lane, try to adjust a shot, dumps it underneath for Brown instead, who cuts the baseline and lays it in. And it's a 6-0 New Palestine lead.
That was an oops turned into a nice assist as he had the ball poked away and it turned into a jump shot.
Eli Stevens is going to be called for a foul as he was a little bit too aggressive on closing out on Mason Corsaro. On a pass to the wing. So Brinker to inbound for Perry Meridian. And C.J. Oliver is now guarding Jaden Taylor as Reggie McDonald starts the offense. 4.5 to go.
CJ's taken on some tough defensive assignments this year, but this might be the biggest size mismatch that he's faced in a while.
It's about a 6-inch difference between the two. Schott fires a jump shot from the top of the key that will not go. And Brown has the rebound quickly ahead to Eli Stevens. He'll drive, pull up from the short corner, put it off the window and in. And it's an 8-0 New Palestine lead as we hit the halfway mark of the first quarter.
It's very early, of course, but I'm not sure I would have picked New Pal to have an 8-point lead with Blaine Nunnally and with Steele Brasfield scoring 0 points.
McDonald up top, being hounded by Nunnally over to the left side for Corsaro. He'll feed Taylor now on the left wing. He'll take Oliver to the free throw line, pump fake, get him in the air, and launch and nail a 16-footer that looked really smooth from Jaden Taylor.
Yeah, that's pretty tough to defend. CJ did all he could. He kept Taylor in front of him. Again, if Perry Meridian's going to shoot jump shots, New Pal's going to live with that.
Dragons working around Perry Meridian's defense, find the open man. Stevens gets his man in the air, puts up a shot with his foot on the line and knocks it down. It's a 2-pointer for Eli Stevens. He's got 6 in the lead. It's back up to 8.
And again, the Dragons benefiting from all the attention being paid to their 2 leading scorers. Some of the supplementary guys are getting some open opportunities.
Jaden Taylor with it, right baseline, working on Oliver for Perry Meridian. Drives into the lane, draws a lot of attention, misses the shot. Brasfield able to rip the rebound away from Taylor. He'll push it into the front court. Brasfield finds Nunnally open for 3 out of the right corner, and he knocks it down.
Big three-pointer there from Blaine Nunnally.
Blaine's first 3 points of the game, and New Palestine has a 13-2 lead. And Mark James wants a full timeout. Now it's a 30-second timeout. We will keep it here. 2:37 to go in the opening quarter. New Palestine with a 13-2 lead. And Mike, I don't think you could start any better if you're the Dragons. Jaden Taylor really has not touched the ball very much. Perry Meridian's had to settle for open outside shots from their post players. And New Palestine has been able to get a lot of scoring from a lot of different players.
Yeah, really what they're doing is they're forcing Perry Meridian to do all the things that I talked about that Perry Meridian doesn't do this season. It's guys that aren't great shooters taking jump shots, and they turn the ball over, I think, I've got them with 2. I might have missed one, but, they don't turn the ball over 10 times in a game. So, you're looking at a team that doesn't turn it over, that's turning it over, and a team that takes good shots, taking bad shots.
2.5 minutes to go first quarter. We're back to action. John Joyce is into the game for Perry Meridian, catches at the top of the key. New Palestine giving him a lot of room. They'll work it into the corner for Noah Pendleton. He'll take a dribble, clear it back out to Jaden Taylor. Oliver steps out on him. They'll work it through Pendleton in between the rings. He directs traffic, kind of almost as a point forward over to Corsaro, who launches a 3. It's around to no good. And Matthew Brown has the rebound for New Palestine. Quickly ahead into the front court comes Blaine Nunnally. He directs traffic, calls for the screen from Brown, pulls up at the free throw line, kicks it out to Oliver. He wants 3 from the left wing. This one hits the front of the rim and will not go, and Jaden Taylor has the rebound. He'll try to take it coast to coast, split a double team, put it off glass, get the shot to go, and draw the foul.
Well, that was pretty much a one-man show there. Taylor did a great job from the rebound all the way. Not a lot she could do. I guess, if there's one quibble, you probably don't want to foul there, but that's a pretty impressive effort from Taylor. Not a lot that the Dragons could do.
Taylor has all 4 of Perry Meridian's points. Kyle Bastian will check in, replacing Eli Stevens, who sits with 6 of the Dragons' 13. Taylor completes the 3-point play, and that cuts the New Palestine lead to 8. Final 2 minutes of the first quarter as Blaine Nunnally will bring it up. Perry Meridian in its man-to-man defense. They're very aggressive in it. Bastian catch and shoot 3 left wing, front of the rim no good, and Taylor has the rebound for the Falcons. He'll push it into the front court. Lose the handle on the crossover, but get it back at the top of the key. Over to Corsaro left wing, and he'll feed it up top for Joyce. He holds, pitches it to Taylor right wing. He'll look to drive on Oliver, cut off on the baseline. He'll work it back out to Corsaro through Pendleton up top. 1:15 to go in the quarter. Now a bounce pass to the left side for Joyce. Brown is guarding him and playing well off on the perimeter. Pendleton with a catch, thought about the 3, instead feeds Joyce, who catches on the block, puts it off the glass and in, and draws Matthew Brown's second foul. And Brown was, it's not a foul on Brown. It's a foul. Well, no, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, all of Perry Meridian's players were going the other way. So give Joyce the basket, and it's Brown's second foul. And so Perry Meridian does not have anybody challenging the free throw, and that was probably a tough call on Brown.
Yeah, he gets a lot of those just essentially being in the area. He did jump, he left his feet, he didn't have position, and there was some contact, but that was a tough call.
C.J. Oliver up top for Damon Hockett, who replaced Brown in the New Palestine lineup. Joyce did not complete the 3-point play, so the score remains 13-7. Nunnally drives his man into the lane, loses the handle, feeds Brasfield in the left corner. He'll hook it back up top for Damon Hockett into the right corner for C.J. Oliver. He'll try to feed it underneath Duke, and Kyle Bastian does a great job, Damon Hockett does a great job of getting his man in the air and couldn't get the shot to go, but he does draw a foul.
Damon Hockett, for a guy that essentially plays guard and swing player more often than not, has a really good post game. And when he gets the ball under the basket, he knows what to do with it. He doesn't panic. He let a guy fly past, cleared up some space, and then was able to get another man up in the air.
Hockett misses the first free throw. He's a 79% foul shooter on the year, and he rattles the second one home. The lead back up to 7 for New Palestine. That stops around a 5 straight Perry Meridian points. The Falcons will likely have the final possession of the quarter, and barring a jump ball, the first of the second. Noah Pendleton with it on the left wing, guarded by Bastian, works it through Joyce at the top. He takes a couple of dribbles, hands off to Jaden Taylor. Top of the key matched up with Oliver. Step back 3 with 13 seconds to go in the quarter, and he knocks it down.
Well, he's shown the full complement.
Nunnally pushes the other way, going coast to coast, puts it off glass, can't get it to go. Joyce has the rebound, and Taylor loses the handle as he was trying to launch a half-court shot. New Palestine leads at 14-10 after a quarter. The Dragons built an early 13-2 lead before Perry Meridian finished the quarter with an 8-1 run. We'll take a break, come back right after this. This is Dragon Basketball on newpowerradio.com, presented by All-Star Turf Management.
Best in Sight Eye Care has been the leader of quality vision and eyewear in New Palestine for more than 20 years. Our experienced doctors, Tim Huffman, Mark Habig, and Colin Clairbout, use the most advanced state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. At Best in Sight Eye Care, you will find professionals who are dedicated to providing exceptional personal service to everyone who walks through the door. We are conveniently located on Arbor Lane in New Palestine. Just follow US 52 west of Mount Comfort Road. To schedule your appointment, visit bestinsighteyecare.com or call 861-4100. Give your vision the level of care it deserves. Mention this ad for 10% off your glasses purchase.
You're listening to The Dragons on newpalradio.com.
Second quarter action beginning at the Dragons' Den. New Palestine leads Perry Meridian 14-10. Eli Stevens leading the way for the Dragons with 6 points. Jaden Taylor with 8 for Perry Meridian. Falcons will have possession to start the second quarter. They're on an 8-1 run. Reggie McDonald drives right side of the lane, cut off, loses the handle and travels. It's a third Falcon turnover.
And again, just solid defense by the Dragons. They didn't do anything necessarily to force that, other than I think he had to stop a lot sooner than he expected along the baseline.
Dragons' first possession of the second quarter. Eli Stevens across to Bastion, now to Damon Hockett left wing. He'll hook it to Blaine Nunnally, right corner. Nunnally and Brassfield, the two original starters in the New Palestine lineup, as well as Stevens. And Nunnally uses a screen, pulls up at the top of the key, sends it over to Hockett, who will launch a three. This will not go, and the rebound goes over top of the backboard, and that will give the possession to Perry Meridian. Dragons have gone cold. They've missed their last 3 shots.
One thing that's interesting to me, Brassfield had an early drive where he was very aggressive, had the ball stripped, but he hasn't really been involved in the offense as much since then.
Reggie McDonald hands off to Jaden Taylor, and Damon Hockett hand-checked him as Taylor was trying to drive down the left side of the lane. That'll be Hockett's first foul, 4th on New Palestine.
I have a feeling that the defensive assignment on Taylor is going to rotate quite a bit today, and much of that rotation is just based on who has fouls to give as the game goes along.
McDonald to start the offense for Perry Meridian, over to Noah Pendleton, left wing. Up top for Corsaro. Stevens guards him, bounce pass to Taylor, right side. And Damon Hockett tripped him as Taylor was trying to start the drive, and Hockett picks up 2 quick ones on the same possession. And we'll see C.J. Oliver hop off of the New Palestine bench to replace Hockett.
The quick whistle is not going to be the Dragons' friend today. They really want to be able to clutch and grab a little bit on that side of the ball. But as long as it's called both ways, you know, you're going to get Nunnally and Brassfield hopefully getting some of the, being the recipient on the other side.
Noah Pendleton up top for Perry Meridian. They'll work it into the corner for Reggie McDonald. Over to Corsaro, now to Pendleton. Catch and shoot 3 from the left wing. Front of the rim, no good. And Nunnally has the rebound for the Dragons. He'll push it with a full head of steam into the front court. Feeds Stevens for a catch and shoot 3 from the left wing that will not go. And Pendleton has the rebound for Perry Meridian. Taylor into the front court. Loses the handle in the lane. Nunnally with the steal. 2-on-1 for New Palestine. Nunnally takes it himself, draws the foul, gets the shot to go. And Nunnally with a 3-point play opportunity.
Oh, steal very close on the offensive goaltender. He kind of held off at the last second, fortunately. And a fantastic job by Nunnally. That was really set up by C.J. Oliver on the defensive end. He forced Taylor to twist about 2 or 3 times, just advancing the ball on a fast break, and eventually it caught up to him.
Luke Burgess is checked into the game for New Palestine, replacing Bastion. Nunnally tries to complete the 3-point play and does for his 6th point, and the lead for New Palestine back up to 7. Perry Meridian with possession. Reggie McDonald at the top in between the circles. Slides it to the right side to Noah Pendleton. Brassfield guards him. Up top for Corsaro. And now to the left side to Patrick Schott, who's checked back into the game. They'll work it back around to Reggie McDonald. Taylor is out of the game right now for Perry Meridian. Here's a 3-point attempt from Corsaro that will not go as it spins out. And Luke Burgess has the rebound. Quickly, New Palestine pushes it into the front court. Brassfield loses the handle on the drive, and it's stolen by Reggie McDonald. Ahead come the Falcons. Here's a bounce pass into the post for Patrick Schott. Right block working on Burgess and loses the handle. Steele Brassfield with the steal. He's going to try to go coast to coast, puts it off glass and in for his first 2 points. And the lead for New Palestine back up to 9. They've scored the first 5 in this quarter.
Good to see that one go in for Steele. Gets him an easy basket. He had lost a couple of balls on turnovers early on, and good to see that one go in for his confidence.
McDonald over to the right side to Noah Pendleton. Looks inside, now works it up top for Corsaro. Slides to the left for Isaiah Brinker, and now they'll work it through Corsaro to McDonald, right corner. Into the block for Schott. Posts up Burgess, leaves it a little too strong with the right hand, and C.J. Oliver has the rebound.
Great defense by Burgess there, just maintained his position and did a great job of not fouling.
And on the other end, draws a foul on Patrick Schott as Burgess had him posted up, and that Schott's first and the third on Perry Meridian. 19-10 New Palestine leads. We'll see Kyle Bastian check back in for the Dragons as Jaden Taylor has returned for the Falcons after a very brief rest. Steele Brassfield will get his first break of the game.
And a couple of things that are interesting to me in terms of the flow of this game. One, Perry Meridian with way more turnovers than we are used to. 5 turnovers in the game already. And they're playing a much faster pace than Mark James generally likes his teams to play at.
Being behind sometimes will force that as C.J. Oliver loses the handle. It's kicked into the backcourt. Foot race. It's picked up by Blaine Nunnally. Because it was deflected, New Palestine is able to maintain possession. 4:25 to go second quarter. Nunnally uses Burgess' screen. Bounce pass to the right side to C.J. Oliver. Looking inside to Burgess. Instead finds Bastian in the right corner. Takes one dribble. Has the ball knocked out of his hands by Taylor out of bounds. It'll stay with New Palestine.
And that's a really good point you make, Andrew, that being behind forces Perry Meridian to play faster. But this is not a team that makes up big batches of points in a hurry the way we've seen New Pal be able to in some cases, just because they can get other teams running a little bit.
Blaine Nunnally will hand off, and now it comes to Eli Stevens, high right. They'll feed Nunnally, top of the key, fakes the 3, spin move into the lane, dishes off for Burgess, who puts it off glass and in. The Dragons have equaled their biggest lead of the game. It's 21-10.
And again, just a great job of getting up in the air but not eliminating options until you have to. He waited and waited for the defender to commit, and then he was able to lay it off for Burgess.
Brinker for Perry Meridian takes it to the free throw line, hands off to McDonald, back to Brinker, fakes the 3, takes it down the lane, pitches it back out to McDonald. Now to Schott, drives under the basket, cut off by Burgess, but is able to find Jaden Taylor under the basket, and Taylor lays it in for his 10th point.
Taylor did a nice job of moving without the ball there. Again, though, you went 4.5 minutes without Perry Meridian scoring.
3:19 to go, and that was Perry Meridian's first points of the second quarter. Bastian drives in, loses the handle, but it was kicked out of bounds by John Joyce, so it'll remain with New Palestine. Brown and Brassfield return for Burgess and Bastian. Brown is playing with 2 fouls.
So was that's essentially 9 minutes out of this first half where Perry Meridian hasn't scored any.
I think you'll take that any day. And twice on Sunday, but they never play on Sundays.
No.
So C.J. Oliver has the ball knocked out of his hands by Jaden Taylor. Taylor thought he had the steal, but he dribbled the ball off the out-of-bounds line when he was trying to knock it free. So it'll stay with the Dragons with 3:13 to go. It's a 9-point lead. Lob inside to Brown, left block. Takes it to the middle, puts it up with the left hand and scores his first points of the second quarter, his 4th of the game. The lead back up to 11.
Just a fantastic job. He went up hard but laid it off soft.
And he's looked really good in the post these last few games. Here's McDonald up top, over to Taylor, right side. Oliver guarding him. Taylor leans into him. And now clears it to Corsaro. Up top for McDonald. He'll drive left side of the lane, pitch it out to Brinker. He'll pull up from 15 and knock it down. Isaiah Brinker has his first 2. And that cuts the New Palestine lead to 9. 2:34 to go as Nunnally crosses midcourt. Dragons set up in their offensive set as Nunnally takes Brinker to the left wing, pulls up, feeds Brown in the post, hooks it out to Stevens, who wants 3 from the right corner and knocks it down. 9 for Eli Stevens. The lead is now 12.
Eli's been playing with so much confidence from the beginning of this game, and it showed there. He's finally rewarded from behind the arc.
Taylor followed by Oliver. Turnaround jumper off the backboard, no good. Good defense from Oliver. Brown with the rebound. Brassfield pushes it into the front court. Into the left corner for C.J. Oliver. Now to Blaine Nunnally for the Dragons. Final 2 minutes of the first half. Nunnally drives to the baseline, hooks it into the corner. Oliver loves the right corner three, and he knocks this one down. Oliver's got 5, and the Dragons lead at 29-14. It's a 15-4 second quarter.
And just a fantastic job by the Dragons turning defense to offense from an intensity standpoint. Brassfield playing a great job as a facilitator there.
Taylor dribbles out of a double team, misses the shot off the front of the rim, gets his own rebound, and draws a foul.
Oh, I love that foul by C.J. Oliver. He got beat. Taylor had a chance, misses the chance, gets up over him, and as you mentioned, he's given up at least 6 inches to Taylor, and he just fouled Taylor, letting him know there's going to be no easy basket here.
Taylor's a 75% free throw shooter. He hits the first free throw for his 11th point. Luke Burgess replaces Matthew Brown in the New Palestine lineup as Brown has a pair of fouls, so Coach Whitaker trying to manage his minutes. Taylor hits both free throws for his 12th point. He has 12 of Perry Meridian's 16. Final 90 seconds of the half, 29-16. New Palestine leads. Dragons have had tremendous balance in this game. Eli Stevens uses an illegal screen, and that will turn the ball back over to Perry Meridian as Luke Burgess commits his first foul.
When you bring up one forearm, you are inviting trouble. When you bring up both forearms, you're going to get called for a moving screen. It was an effective block.
And when you're 6'8", you're going to be seen too. So 1:15 to go. That was Burgess's first foul. Third Dragon turnover of the game. Perry Meridian's Corsaro starts the offense. Over to Taylor, drives into the lane, cut off, pitches it out to Corsaro, who wants 3. It rims no good, and Burgess has the rebound knocked out of his hands. Reggie McDonald has a shot blocked by Burgess, but Burgess is going to be called for the foul.
Looks like he got a lot of ball there.
Yeah, looks like Burgess had him clean from behind, but may have gotten a little bit of the hand. And so Burgess picks up 2 quick fouls, and McDonald will go to the line for 2 shots. Not a popular call with the fans in red behind us, but McDonald hits the first free throw. And the Falcons now 4 for 5 from the line in this game. And now 5 for 6 as McDonald knocks down his first 2 points. So Perry scored the last 4 in this one. And that cuts the New Palestine lead to 29-18. Not only hands off to Stevens, they'll weave it around to Oliver. Now to Burgess in the high post. Bounce pass underneath, looking for Eli Stevens, but he couldn't handle the pass, cutting across and fumbled it out of bounds. That'll be the 4th Dragon turnover.
Yeah, that was trying to do a little bit too much by Luke Burgess there, as he just happened to lead Stevens a little bit too much, but a bounce pass into the post, you're inviting trouble.
Final 40 seconds of the half, 29-18, Dragons lead. Jaden Taylor with it on the right wing. Drives, pitches now to Corsaro, to Brinker to the left wing. Fakes the 3 and now works it up top for McDonald. 25 seconds to go as John Joyce will launch a jumper from the left wing. It won't go, and Eli Stevens has the rebound. Clears it into the front court for Nunnally. Blaine will take it into the left corner. They're sending a scramble defense at him over to Oliver, and Jaden Taylor trying to steal it from Oliver, fouls him.
Yeah, only the 4th foul on the Falcons early on, though, so it'll just lead to an inbound for the Dragons.
13.8 seconds to go in a rapidly moving first half. New Palestine has led throughout. It's currently 29-18. The lead has been as high as 15. Perry Meridian has scored the last 4 in the game, and Reggie McDonald commits his second foul, trying to steal the inbounds pass from C.J. Oliver. So he becomes the first Falcon in a little bit of foul trouble with 2, and so he will sit for the final 12 seconds of the half as Zach Douglas checks in for the first time. Inbounds pass to Oliver in the backcourt. 10 seconds to go as he crosses midcourt. Slides to the left side, feeds Nunnally. Burgess sets the screen for Blaine, who loses the handle. And now Joyce ahead to Taylor, and he will flush it to end the half. Perry Meridian finishes the half on a 6-point run, and The Dragon lead has been cut to 29-20. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you the D&D Strictly Storage Best Inside Family Eye Care halftime show. That comes up right after this. This is Dragon Basketball on newpalradio.com. Our broadcast is presented by All-Star Turf Management.
Pork Vet Solutions is the best veterinary choice for your swine operation. Our two doctors, Matt Ackerman and Dylan Lape, can help you position your pork production system for the 21st century. We provide veterinary and consulting services, herd visits, preventive medicine, and more. Pork Vet Solutions is licensed and accredited in 8 states. Reach us online at porkvet.com or call 623-5132. That's porkvet.com or 623-5132. Pork Vet Solutions, literally saving your bacon each and every day.
At Real Life Church, we've done everything we can to create a place people love so they can experience a loving God. That means we do everything with you in mind. Whether it's our weekend services, our kids and student ministry, or small groups, we really have been expecting you. We've been praying for you, and we're excited about the opportunity to go on a spiritual journey with you. We hope that you'll take your next step and join us this weekend at Real Life Church. There's always room for you.
D&D Strictly Storage in New Palestine is your home for storage needs. D&D Strictly Storage offers a wide variety of storage sizes from 5 by 10 feet up to 10 by 30 feet. They also offer indoor and outdoor parking for your boats and RVs. Locally owned and operated by Don and Maria Blackwell, D&D Strictly Storage is who to call for your storage solution. They're located on County Road 400 West, just north of the railroad tracks in New Palestine. Call them at 861-9231. Again, that's 861-9231 for D&D Strictly Storage. Mention this ad and get your second month free with any rental.
Best in Sight Eye Care has been the leader of quality vision and eyewear in New Palestine for more than 20 years. Our experienced doctors, Tim Huffman, Mark Habig, and Colin Clairbout, use the most advanced state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. At Best in Sight Eye Care, you will find professionals who are dedicated to providing exceptional personal service to everyone who walks through the door. We are conveniently located on Arbor Lane in New Palestine. Just follow US 52 west of Mount Comfort Road. To schedule your appointment, visit bestinsighteyecare.com or call 861-4100. Give your vision the level of care it deserves. Mention this ad for 10% off your glasses purchase.
Now, back to the action on newpalradio.com.
Time for the D&D Strictly Storage Best Insight Family Eye Care halftime show here at the Dragons' Den. New Palestine leading Perry Meridian 29-20 at halftime. The Dragons built a 13-2 lead and then later a 29-14 before Perry Meridian answered with an 8-1 run in the first quarter to cut the lead to 4, and then a 6-0 run into the second quarter to cut the lead to 9. Good balance for this New Palestine team as we take a look at the first half scoring. Eli Stevens with 9 points. He has 3 field goals of the 2-point variety and a 3-pointer. Blaine Nunnally has 6, has a 3 and a conventional 3-point play. C.J. Oliver has 5 on a 3 and a 2. Steele Brassfield, Luke Burgess, and Matthew Brown have 2 each. Well, Brassfield and Burgess have 2 each. Matthew Brown has 4. He has a pair of baskets, and Damon Hockett has a point. He's 1 of 2 from the line. 8 have played, 7 have scored for New Palestine, which has 12 field goals, 3 of which have been threes. They're 2 of 3 from the line. For Perry Meridian, it's the Jaden Taylor show. He has 5 field goals, 1 of which is a 3. He's 3 of 3 from the line. He has 14 of their 20 points. Reggie McDonald has hit a pair of free throws for 2. Isaiah Brinker has a pair of points as well on a field goal. John Joyce has a field goal. He's 0 for 1 from the line. Mason Corsaro, Zach Douglas, and Patrick Schott, as well as Noah Pendleton, have all played but have not scored. Falcons have 7 field goals, 5 of which have been hit by Jaden Taylor. 1-3, they're 5 of 6 from the line. Dragons led at 14-10 after a quarter. The second quarter spread was 15-10, and New Palestine started the quarter with a 15-4 run before Perry Meridian scored the last 6 of the half. And a really good start for New Palestine, and when Perry Meridian's thrown a punch at him, New Palestine has responded, and it's not been necessarily Blaine Nunnally and Steele Brassfield like you would expect it to be, although they combined have 8 points. It's been everybody. They've been getting really good balance.
Absolutely. Quite honestly, it's really funny because you go into half, and there's a lot for the coaching staff to pick apart. They had turnovers, I believe, on the last four possessions going into halftime, but you're leading by 9 points over a really good team. So, it's good they had built up that 15-point cushion. That was going to get tested. I think the key in the second half, if you can get to 55 points, that's probably a summit that's too much for Perry Meridian to get over. Teams that get to 55 points against Perry Meridian in general have been very successful. I think I was looking, they're about 1-4 against teams that get to 55. But in this game in particular, and from what we've seen from Perry Meridian, I don't really see them having a 35-point half in them. Yeah. Offensively, when they play at a faster pace, they are not efficient enough to get there. I think that if you can just get a certain, once you get to that benchmark, I'll take my chances.
And really, it comes down to, can they get Jaden Taylor loose? Because he really is their offense right now, and he has been all season. He's well on his way to his average of 25 a game. He has 14 points, but they haven't been able to get other people going. Reggie McDonald comes into the game averaging 7.4. He has just 2 free throws. Mason Corsaro is a good 3-point shooter. He's only had 1 look from 3 in this game, so it's been a challenge getting guys besides Taylor open. And you really credit New Palestine's defense. They're paying a lot of attention to Taylor, but as you would expect them to. But they've done a good job of limiting him while also forcing, taking away everybody else as well.
Yeah, when you look at this Perry Meridian offense, I mean, there's a reason why you pay attention to him. A lot of this is the scouting report, knowing who you can lay off of and who you can leave open for jump shots. Outside of Noah Pendleton has taken 25 3-pointers. Mason Corsaro's, again, really the only one that's shooting at a reasonable percentage from behind the 3-point arc. Everybody else you can pretty much lay off of, and you just know they don't take undisciplined shots for the most part, so you take that to your advantage, and you lay off the guys that you know are not going to shoot.
It's halftime. The Dragons with a 29-20 lead. We are going to take our second break of halftime, and when we come back, we'll bring you second half action. It's been the D&D Strictly Storage Best in Sight Family Eye Care halftime show. You're listening to newpalradio.com.
Catch the Shot Photography is your hometown photographer. Locally owned by Brenda Adams Turk and David Turk, Catch the Shot is dedicated to providing quality photos of your family, seniors, sports, and special events. We offer custom designed products including sponsor banners, photo collages, senior banners, and much more. We look forward to catching the shots with you. Contact Catch the Shot Photography at 317-620-1240 or catchtheshot.com. All-Star Turf Management is the best choice for the lawn you really want. Our superior lawn care services, including fertilizer, weed control, aerations, mowing, and more, are designed to improve and maintain your property season after season. Our combination of using the highest quality chemical products applied by educated, licensed professionals is what your property needs to become a place we both will be proud of. With flexible scheduling and service programs, we have a package that's right for your lawn and your budget. Locally owned and operated by Nathan Johnson, All-Star Turf Management is proud to support the New Palestine community and Dragon Athletics. To learn more or for a free estimate, call All-Star Turf Management at 861-1234 or visit myallstarlawn.com. That's 861-1234 or myallstarlawn.com for All-Star Turf Management. With a former Dragon star in Bloomington, all eyes should be on the Hoosiers football program this year. HoosierHuddle.com is a free and independent site that has covered the football team since 2013. They provide roster analysis, player profiles, interviews, game previews, wrap-ups, and more. You can follow them on Twitter at Hoosier_Huddle or visit HoosierHuddle.com to keep up with your in-state favorites.
Now, back to the action on newpalradio.com.
Second half action set to begin. Along with Mike Petrie, I'm Andrew Smith. The New Palestine Dragons leading the Perry Meridian Falcons 29-20. Before we begin, a couple of other scores in HHC play. And Mike, you've got those for us, so we'll pass them along to you.
So Greenwood taking on Greenfield in the battle for the green, 33-10. Greenwood ahead. That's a game, an opponent that New Pal still has on their schedule. Noblesville leading Mount Vernon 30-23. And Delta beats Mississinewa 55-46.
And so those are the other conference teams in action this afternoon here in New Palestine with a 29-20 lead. And the basketball as we begin third quarter action. Blaine Nunnally between the circles. Into the right corner to Eli Stevens, who has 9 points to lead New Palestine. They'll work it around to C.J. Oliver, left corner. Pulls up the elbow, pitches it out to Brown. Now to Stevens. Head fake in the lane, drives into a triple team, loses his defenders, puts it high off the glass, won't go. Brown with a putback won't go either, but he draws a foul and will go to the line.
The shot fake by Stevens did not get the shot to fall for him, but it created the space for Matthew Brown to be able to get that rebound. Perry Meridian had that boxed out fairly well, but once the shot fake came, it opened up a little bit of room, and Matthew Brown was able to head to the free throw line.
Brown misses the first free throw off the front of the rim. And we see Patrick Schott check in. He started this game, did not start the second half. John Joyce did, and he was the one who committed the foul. Joyce remains in the game. Noah Pendleton will sit. Brown rims that one no good. He missed them both. Dragons now 2 of 5 from the line in the game. The lead remains at 9 as Jaden Taylor crosses midcourt. Feeds McDonald left wing. Nunnally steps out on him. They'll work it through Corsaro at the top of the key. He looks for a passing option and now feeds it to the left side to Joyce. Joyce now top of the key. Holding, looking to get his man open. C.J. Oliver's doing a fantastic job denying Taylor the ball. They finally get it to him in a double team left block. Pitches it out to Corsaro, now to McDonald. To Joyce, right wing. And he holds, takes one dribble, and now feeds it back to McDonald.
Great rotation by the Dragons there.
We'll work it around to Joyce. He'll launch a 3 from the left side, knock it down. John Joyce with the triple, his first 3 of the season. And Perry Meridian has cut the New Palestine lead to 6. This is as close as it has been since the early stages of the second quarter.
I always regret it when I say these things, but they'll take John Joyce taking that shot. That's not a problem for the Dragons.
6.5 to go third quarter. Perry Meridian has scored the last 9 points of the game to cut what was a 15-point lead down to 6. That has bridged halftime. Brown feeds Oliver on the left wing. He'll work it across the top in a double team. Maybe got away with a walk. Now clears it out to Blaine Nunnally. Takes it into the lane. Hooks it into the corner for C.J. Oliver. Pass didn't connect, but it comes to Brown. Turns, throws it off the front of the rim, no good. And Schott has the rebound. Perry Meridian on the run. Taylor splits a double team. Matthew Brown blocked his shot beautifully. And a late foul call is made. And Brown will pick up his 3rd foul, and Jaden Taylor will go to the line.
I wouldn't have minded that call if the foul had been on Steele Brasfield. Brasfield trailing a little bit. If there was contact, it was Brasfield that made that. Brown had the ball up top, and that was really all ball there.
Taylor misses the first free throw. Brown will have to sit with 3 fouls. Falcons now 5 of 7 from the line. Taylor trying to cut the Dragons' lead to 5 with the second free throw. And he hits it. That's his 15th point. 29-24. Perry's now on a 10-0 run that has bridged halftime, and Matthew Brown has to sit with 3 fouls. Nunnally with it, left side, uses Brasfield's screen and bumps into Brasfield. Now we'll clear it over to Kyle Bastian, who's checked into the game to replace Brown. To Eli Stevens, right corner, will circle the arc and now back it out to the high right side, working on Corsaro. Stevens into the semicircle, works it into the corner for Brasfield, who wants 3. It's short. Kyle Bastian with the rebound, missed an open layup, comes to Brasfield. He can't handle it. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by Perry Meridian. It'll stay with New Palestine.
2 great opportunities for the Dragons there. They come up short. Bastian, both times they've gotten the ball in the post. Matthew Brown first and Bastian second time. They've gone up and then been tentative, putting the shot up off the glass.
Nunnally inbound baseline right, looking, finally gets it into Bastian in the right corner. I'll bring it back up top for Eli Stevens. 5.5 to go. To Nunnally into the corner for C.J. Oliver. He loses the handle, and it's loose, stolen by Taylor. And here he comes in the front court. Bastian fouls him. A blocking foul was called. And that's the first foul on Kyle Bastian. And It's called on the floor, so Perry Meridian will inbound, but looking to cut into this Dragon deficit further. It's been a long time since New Palestine scored a point.
Yeah, and I honestly, the big problem I have with that possession, C.J. Oliver does so many things well for the Dragons. I don't want him trying to drive on Jaden Taylor to create for the Dragons offense.
Yeah.
If they're gonna be successful, you've got to have the guys that are, the drivers driving and the shooters shooting.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup, and where Perry Meridian has been able to get its offense here in this 10-point run has been on a lot of broken plays. They're forcing turnovers and turning those into points, and that has made things a little bit of a challenge.
And again, I believe going back, it had been about a 6 or 7 to 5 advantage for the New Pal on turnovers. That has turned around quite a bit.
Perry Meridian with possession, down 5:10 to go. And Brinker works it up top to McDonald. He's in the high circle, goes to Taylor in the left side, drives, takes a step into the lane, scores the basket, draws the foul.
And that's what having that star player can do for you. I mean, eventually he's gonna get his, and to a certain degree, you've got to just game plan around making sure that it's as hard for him to get his points as it can be, and then making sure it doesn't just create opportunities for his teammates.
Jaden Taylor hits the free throw to complete the three-point play, and Perry Meridian has sliced a 15-point lead down to 2. The Dragons did not score for the last few minutes of the first half. They have not scored for the first 3 of the third quarter. They've been outscored 7-0 to begin the quarter. It's 13 consecutive Perry Meridian points. Blaine Nunnally feeds Stevens on the left side, works it into the semicircle, crosses over, loses the handle. It's stolen by the Falcons, and they tried to push it into the front court. They couldn't. And now here's McDonald into the lane. Up under, gets the shot to fall off the back of the rim, no good, but he'll go to the line with a chance to tie the game.
Yeah, and Blaine's holding his hand up to say, I was straight up, but the problem was that he left his feet. And once you leave your feet, essentially all the contact, the onus is going to be on the defender there.
McDonald, a 61% foul shooter, swishes the first. It's now a 1-point game. The Dragons' 15-point lead is pretty much evaporated in the span of about 7 minutes of clock time. And McDonald can erase the last point of that with this free throw, and does.
We talked about it in the first half that the Dragons had forced Perry Meridian out of doing what they do well. Well, Perry Meridian's turned the tables here, and it was about 9 minutes of the Falcons not being able to score. Perry Meridian has now forced the Dragons into about 8 minutes of total game time with no points.
And the Dragons turn it over again. C.J. Oliver caught it on the wing. It was knocked free. He picked it up in the backcourt, and he did so on the out-of-bounds line.
Yeah, and again, you're just asking C.J. to do a little too much there against bigger, stronger players that trying to drive on them in order to create opportunities.
Hockett and Oliver out for the Dragons. Perry Meridian can take the lead. They've scored the last 15 in this game. The Dragons have yet to score in the second half. Reggie McDonald has it, feeds Taylor on the wing. Taylor, hesitation dribble, has Damon Hockett now guarding him. Over to McDonald, into the corner. Now for Corsaro. Up top for Brinker. Over to the right side, on the wing for McDonald to Taylor. Catches, fires the three, top of the key, and drains it. And the Dragons now find themselves behind for the first time in this game. An 18-point run. This game is starting to unravel rapidly. And Trent Whitaker has to use another timeout. 32-29, Perry Meridian with the lead. 3:51 to go in the third quarter. This is Dragon Basketball on newpalradio.com.
At Real Life Church, we've done everything we can to create a place people love so they can experience a loving God. That means we do everything with you in mind. Whether it's our weekend services, our kids and student ministry, or small groups, we really have been expecting you. We've been praying for you, and we're excited about the opportunity to go on a spiritual journey with you. We hope that you'll take your next step and join us this weekend at Real Life Church. There's always room for you.
Pork Vet Solutions is the best veterinary choice for your swine operation. Our two doctors, Matt Ackerman and Dylan Lape, can help you position your pork production system for the 21st century. We provide veterinary and consulting services, herd visits, preventive medicine, and more. Pork Vet Solutions is licensed and accredited in 8 states. Reach us online at porkvet.com or call 623-5132. That's porkvet.com or 623-5132. Pork Vet Solutions, literally saving your bacon each and every day.
You're listening to The Dragons on NewPalRadio.com.
3:40 to go, third quarter. New Palestine trailing Perry Meridian for the first time in this game, 32-29. Blaine Nunnally has it at the top of the key for the Dragons. He'll feed it through Hockett to Brassfield, left wing. Steele crosses over, finds himself in a trap, clears to Hockett. He drives down the lane, loses the handle. Turnovers are piling up for the Dragons, but they take it back. Eli Stevens feeds Brassfield on the left wing. Crosses over into the lane, takes it to the basket, leaves it off the front of the rim, and he's fouled trying to tip up the rebound. He'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
That's what the Dragons have been waiting for, and they're arguing it's a shooting foul.
Yeah, it should have been a shooting
foul. Doesn't look like they're going to get that.
He was definitely trying to shoot.
Yeah. I'll be honest, if that's not a shooting foul, then the foul was on Brassfield on the rebound. The way that the bodies were proportioned there, he had to go up over Joyce to get the rebound, and if the foul was on Joyce, then then he was in the act of shooting. But
Luke Burgess is in with 3:15 to go. He replaces Kyle Bastian, and now Noah Pendleton checks in as well. And he will replace Isaiah Brinker.
But that drive by Brassfield is what the Dragons have been missing. They've been getting such good balance from their secondary pieces, but that was a lot being created by Nunnally and Brassfield. In the second half, they've been trying to get their secondary pieces to do too much.
Luke Burgess catches on the block. He tries to post up Noah Pendleton and draws the foul. That's Pendleton's second. And that will be just the third foul on Perry Meridian in this half. Nunnally to inbound baseline left. Looking, skies it to Damon Hockett in the high circle. He'll slide it over to the right side to Eli Stevens. Work it through Nunnally into the corner. Brassfield looks to drive baseline, cut off, hooks it to the block for Hockett. He tries to fire through contact, can't get it to go, but gets his own rebound and clears it back out to Nunnally. Hockett now drives baseline, draws contact, offensive foul. This crowd has not been really pleased with the officiating, and that's not going to change their minds very much.
No, the two fouls that they called on Perry Meridian did not even the score, according to the fans. And I hate that charge call because the defender didn't do anything. It just happened. He happened to be in the right spot.
So Perry Meridian with a 3-point lead. The Dragons' scoreless drought has reached 8 minutes. And Reggie McDonald drives right side of the lane, cut off by Nunnally and travels. That's the Falcons' first turnover in quite a while. It's the first of the second half. Brinker in, McDonald out for Perry Meridian. 2:24 to go. And Nunnally has the ball knocked free on the inbounds, but he tracks it down. We're in the third quarter. Dragons trail it by 3. They've been outscored 12-0 this quarter. Nunnally drives, feeds it up top for Hockett, gets his man in the air, drives down the right side of the lane, and is fouled. Now, Perry Meridian has been very physical defensively, and they've now picked up 3 fouls the last couple defensive possessions. This is Pendleton's third.
And the Dragons can play that to their advantage, but they've got to be aggressive and go to the basket. They had gotten out of the habit of it. They hadn't needed to in the first half, and now they have to pick that up again.
So Nunnally to inbound baseline right. New Palestine trails by 3. He'll sky it to Hockett, high right. Feed Nunnally now into the block. Brassfield takes it to the basket. Off balance shot goes.
Fantastic play by the Dragons. Exactly what the doctor ordered.
Steele's 4th point. New Palestine trails by 1. 1:55 to go. Perry Meridian brings it into the front court. Reggie McDonald over the right side to Jaden Taylor. He'll drive left side of the lane, try to feed it underneath. It's picked off by Brassfield. Steele pushing it the other way, behind the back dribble, lost the handle. And it's stolen by McDonald. They throw it ahead quickly to Brinker into the front court. Set up half-court offense the final 95 seconds of the third quarter. 32-31, Perry Meridian leads. They spread the floor. Brinker drives, cut off by Nunnally in the right side, feeds to Corsaro into the corner for Joyce. They'll bring it up top for Jaden Taylor. Taylor guarded by Eli Stevens, crosses over on him, loses the handle out of bounds.
Great job by Eli Stevens there. Just did a fantastic job pestering Taylor. Forced him to change directions a couple of times and eventually was able to poke the ball away and off of Taylor, which is even better.
1:05 to go in the third quarter as Brassfield will cross midcourt. Feed Nunnally on the left side. Up top, Burgess swings it over to the right side to C.J. Oliver. C.J. works it up top again. Steele Brassfield pulls up from 15 off balance. Jumper halfway down the basket. Now Eli Stevens fights to get the offensive rebound and is fouled.
Eli Stevens doing a Gumby impression there as he was bent over backwards to get that rebound. Just a great job. He was fighting, boxing out. It was almost like a reverse box out because the ball came out a little bit further off the rim and he kept his man under the basket.
Corsaro commits his first foul. Brassfield baseline drive, up, under, and in. Strong drive by Steele Brassfield. The Dragons have scored the last four, all by Steele. They've retaken the lead at 33-32.
And you're starting to see Steele Brassfield impose his will on this game in a way that he wasn't doing early on in the third quarter.
See if Perry Meridian holds it for one in the final 30 seconds of the quarter. Brinker bounces it to Jaden Taylor right side, hooks it over to Brinker, thought about the three, didn't take it, backs it out high left with 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Brassfield guarding him. Bounce pass McDonald left wing. Into the mid-post, Joyce hooks it over, it's picked off by Brassfield. Steele with 12 seconds to go, pushes it into the front court to Nunnally with 9. He'll direct traffic. Holds it with 7, waits for the screen from Burgess, drives the lane, puts up a scoop shot, won't go, tip up, no. Burgess puts it up, won't go, and the horn sounds. The Dragons had 3 opportunities and couldn't get any of them to go.
Luke, I think he rushed that last one a little bit, both because he thought a defender was coming and also because of the impending end of the clock.
That will end the third quarter. The New Palestine Dragons with a 33-32 lead over the Perry Meridian Falcons. We'll be back right after this. This is Dragon Basketball on NewPalRadio.com. Our broadcast presented by All-Star Turf Management.
All-Star Turf Management is the best choice for the lawn you really want. Our superior lawn care services, including fertilizer, weed control, aerations, mowing, and more, are designed to improve and maintain your property season after season. Our combination of using the highest quality chemical products applied by educated, licensed professionals is what your property needs to become a place we both will be proud of. With flexible scheduling and service programs, we have a package that's right for your lawn and your budget. Locally owned and operated by Nathan Johnson, All-Star Turf Management is proud to support the New Palestine community and Dragon Athletics. To learn more or for a free estimate, call All-Star Turf Management at 861-1234 or visit myallstarlawn.com. That's 861-1234 or myallstarlawn.com for All-Star Turf Management.
Now, back to the action on NewPalRadio.com.
Start of the fourth quarter at the Dragons' Den. New Palestine leads Perry Meridian 33-32. Falcons with the ball to begin the final frame. Jaden Taylor's defender falls down. He drives up, puts up a reverse layup and scores his 23rd point. And the Falcons retake the lead.
They made him work for it a lot more than you would have expected when his defender fell down going to chase him in the first place before he got the ball.
Brassfield up top for Nunnally for New Palestine. We played half a minute. Blaine will launch a three off the front of the rim. No good. A long rebound tracked down by John Joyce of the Falcons. Perry Meridian with the basketball and a 1-point lead. Joyce brings it across midcourt to Reggie McDonald. He'll feed it and now work it up top to McDonald over to the left side. Joyce will catch and launch an 18-footer and knock it down. John Joyce does not shoot from outside, and he's knocked down 2 big outside shots to give Perry Meridian a 3-point lead.
He has not to this point in the season. Perhaps they should incorporate that a little more into the offense.
Blaine Nunnally drives right side of the lane, draws contact from Joyce, puts it off glass and in. Blaine's got 8, and the Dragons within 1. And Trent Whitaker, well, no, Mark James takes a full timeout. So we will take one as well. 6:41 to go in the fourth quarter. The Dragons trailing Perry Meridian 36-35. This is Dragon Basketball on NewPalletRadio.com.
Catch the Shot Photography is your hometown photographer. Locally owned by Brenda Adams Turk and David Turk, Catch the Shot is dedicated to providing quality photos of your family, seniors, sports, and special events. We offer custom designed products including sponsor banners, photo collages, senior banners, and much more. We look forward to catching the shots with you. Contact Catch the Shot Photography at 317-620-1240 or catchtheshot.com. With a former Dragon star in Bloomington, all eyes should be on the Hoosiers football program this year. HoosierHuddle.com is a free and independent site that has covered the football team since 2013. They provide roster analysis, player profiles, interviews, game previews, wrap-ups, and more. You can follow them on Twitter at Hoosier_Huddle or visit HoosierHuddle.com to keep up with your in-state favorites.
You're listening to The Dragons on NewPalRadio.com.
6:41 to go in the fourth quarter. Perry Meridian with a 36-35 lead over the Dragons. New Palestine was in control of this game early, led by as many as 15. The Falcons bridged halftime with an 18-0 run to take a 3-point lead, and the lead has swapped hands a couple of times since. Jaden Taylor in a triple team for Perry Meridian clears it out to Brinker on the right wing. He'll back it over to Corsaro, now into the corner for McDonald, left side. He'll circle the arc, and now go back right wing to Brinker. Now to Corsaro, drives baseline, puts up a runner, has a shot blocked, but the loose ball comes to the Falcons, out to Brinker for three, and he nails it. Isaiah Brinker hits a three, just his third of the season. And we talked at halftime about how Perry Meridian's secondary guys have not hurt New Palestine. They have in the second half. Blaine Nunnally tries to answer and does with a drive down the lane for his 10th point.
Yeah, it's been a reverse to a certain degree. Jaden Taylor still has been a weapon for Perry Meridian, but the second half, when the Dragons have needed guys to step up, it's been Brasfield and Nunnally, and that's what they need.
Taylor forces a shot, won't go, and then is fouled on the rebound, and Matthew Brown again thinks he got him clean. But Jaden Taylor is going to be deemed to be in the act of shooting, and Matthew Brown commits his fourth foul. And no, they got Eli Stevens with that one. That's his second.
Yeah, and that's what I was asking for on the last time a similar situation happened, in that there was contact there. I can buy that, but it wasn't Matthew Brown generally doing it. But
Taylor,
that's a fortunate call because Stevens did not have 3 fouls at the time.
Yeah, he only has 2 now. Taylor hits the first, misses the second. The deficit is 3 for New Palestine. 5.5 to go as C.J. Oliver has it on the wing. His pass for Brasfield is picked off by McDonald. He takes it up and field. Brasfield swats it. Oliver saves it off of Taylor's leg. Out of bounds, New Palestine ball. The official initially pointed Perry Meridian's way. And
curious how he was getting to that. But we'll take that idea.
That was a great play by C.J. Oliver, especially after the block by Brasfield.
Yeah, you would have been happy enough with the blocked shot, but then to get the turnover on top of it, even better.
Brasfield up top, over to the right side to Oliver. He holds, now clears to Eli Stevens. Has the ball knocked free and stolen by Brinker. He'll take it up the left side, draw the contact and the foul, and Brinker will go to the line for a pair, and another turnover for New Palestine. Those live ball turnovers are really, really costly.
Yeah.
And Perry Meridian has not gotten much out of their half-court offense. It's been a lot of fast break points off of live ball turnovers here in the second half.
And again, that's another part of their game that they have not been, had not shown to this point in the season. They're not an overly aggressive team, but they have found some ability to be physically aggressive with this Dragons team and create those turnovers.
Brinker missed both free throws. Perry Meridian 1 for 4 in the quarter, 10 for 15 of the game. New Palestine just 2 for 5 from the line. Steele Brasfield, catch and shoot, 3 left, wing good! Tie game.
I was just thinking that it'd been a while since the Dragons had hit a three-pointer. It really had been a while since they'd even created or taken a three-point shot.
Tie game, 4:39 to go. Taylor loses the handle going down the lane. It's picked off by Eli Stevens. And then he throws it away. Brinker with the steal the other way, ahead to Taylor, and he will dunk it.
Yeah, 3-on-0 break there by Perry Meridian. Again, a live ball turnover, especially where where it's happening on the court. 2 times in 3 possessions where the point guard has had the ball stripped from him right at the top of the key.
Still Brassfield with it on the right wing. Up top through Stevens, now to Oliver left wing. He'll drive to the baseline, find himself in a double team, lose the handle, get it back, bounce it to Brown. He'll take it to the middle, feed Brassfield, open 3, right wing, front of the rim, no good. Didn't look in rhythm there. McDonald has the rebound. Falcons lead it by 2 with the ball, final 4 minutes of this game.
It looked like he was ready to shoot about a half second before the ball got there.
Eli Stevens is going to be called for his 3rd foul. And because that is the 7th team foul, Perry Meridian will be shooting free throws the remainder of the game. That's actually the 8th team foul.
Yeah.
So Stevens now has 4. So Damon Hockett will replace him. So Brinker back to the line. He's 0 for 2, but he's an 80% free throw shooter on the season. And he hits the front end of the 1-and-1 to give Perry Meridian a 3-point lead.
He is working out that right shoulder, though. On the previous attempt, it looked like he might have banged bodies with Eli Stevens on the layup that preceded his 2 missed free throws.
Brinker hits both. And Perry Meridian leads it by 4, 3:40 to go. Nunnally with it up top. Slides to the left side. Looks underneath to Brassfield. Catches short corner left side. Working on Taylor. Pitches out top to Nunnally. 3.5 to go as Nunnally will bring it to the free throw line. Hook it over to Brassfield. Catch and shoot 3 from the left wing is good. Back-to-back threes for Brassfield. He's got 12. Trent Whitaker will take a full timeout. We will take 1, 2. 3:21 to go in the game. The Dragons trailing Perry Meridian 34-33. This is Dragon Basketball on NewPalRadio.com. Our broadcast presented by All-Star Turf Management.
All-Star Turf Management is the best choice for the lawn you really want. Our superior lawn care services, including fertilizer, weed control, aerations, mowing, and more, are designed to improve and maintain your property season after season. Our combination of using the highest quality chemical products applied by educated, licensed professionals is what your property needs to become a place we both will be proud of. With flexible scheduling and service programs, we have a package that's right for your lawn and your budget. Locally owned and operated by Nathan Johnson, All-Star Turf Management is proud to support the New Palestine community and Dragon Athletics. To learn more or for a free estimate, call All-Star Turf Management at 861-1234 or visit myallstarlawn.com. That's 861-1234 or myallstarlawn.com for All-Star Turf Management.
Now, back to the action on NewPalRadio.com.
3:21 to go here at the Dragons' Den. New Palestine trailing Perry Meridian 44-43. Before we get back to action, I want to congratulate Richard Clevenger, Christian White, and Tucker Keevers. They have all clinched spots in the wrestling semi-state by winning their first-round matches at the regional today. Tucker and Christian will be wrestling for regional championships. Perry Meridian into the front court. They're spreading the floor with a 1-point lead. Brinker drives to the wing, feeds into the high post for Joyce. Back up top to Brinker. Between the circles, Brassfield guarding him. Brinker into the free throw line, now kicks it back out to Corsaro. 2:50 to go as they work it up top to Brinker. In the high circle, Isaiah Brinker tries to jab step on Brassfield, drives past him, cut off at the block, out to McDonald. He'll drive down the lane, out to Joyce, now to McDonald, and now to Brinker again. Perry Meridian looks like they're content to take the air out of the ball with a 1-point lead here as they've fed it underneath to Corsaro, open under the basket. That's what you want to do with that four-corner offense, find somebody open under the hoop, and they lay it in.
Yeah, they were content to wait until they got exactly the shot they wanted.
Nunnally drives inside. It's going to be called for an offensive foul. That was one of the more unique calls I've seen, and Blaine Nunnally, you could read his lips. His first words as soon as you turn to the official were, what?
That is a crazy call. He was being pushed by 3 different guys.
Well, there have been some interesting ones, that one for sure. And that is not a commentary on it being one-sided. It's been that case both ways. Here's a drive inside, no foul called as Reggie McDonald is down. Nunnally tries to split a double team. It's knocked out of his hands, out of bounds. McDonald is still down. And now, just now getting up, he looks like he's holding his wrist. And Mark James is now giving the official an earful.
That was one where, again, with that level of contact, I don't understand how there's not a foul called one way or another. I hate the charge call, but, if they're going to call something, they got to call it there.
Damon Hockett loses his footing, maintains his dribble, and to avoid a turnover, Trent Whitaker takes a timeout, and he is, I think, lobbying for a call. He signals for a 30, but I don't think he has a 30. So, okay, I guess he does. So we'll keep it here. 1:53 to go in the game. 46-43, Perry Meridian leads, and now you're at that point where you're behind against a team that handles the ball well. Every possession is now critical.
Yeah, a team that doesn't turn it over. In the first half, it was a situation where the Dragons were making Perry Meridian play their game, play at their pace, play essentially the way that they wanted the game to flow. In the second half, once Perry Meridian had made up that big gap, the Dragons have to play Perry Meridian's game now, and you've got to take advantage of every opportunity. You don't need a 3. You don't need to tie it up, but I also wouldn't turn one down.
Nunnally looks and finally skies it into C.J. Oliver on the left wing, being guarded by McDonald, who remained in the game. Oliver loses the handle. It's taken away by Corsaro. Oliver was in all kinds of traffic. 14 turnovers, 9 of them in the second half for New Palestine. Perry Meridian again spreading the floor with a 3-point lead, 95 seconds to go, and the Dragons have no choice but to foul. Damon Hockett commits his 4th.
Yeah, and at this point, I would not waste a lot of time in extending the game. It's not that you're in a position where, you need to get a tie right away, but now you've just got to create possessions. And so that means, fouling early and often here and hoping that the other team can miss some free throws.
Brinker hits the first free throw. He's now 3 of 5, all in the fourth quarter. He has 6 of his 8 points in this quarter. And now hits them both. His three-pointer was really, I think, a turning point in the game. And now the Dragons are down 5. This was a game they had completely under control with a 15-point lead in the first half. And Blaine Nunnally up top between the rings, 1:20 to go. Nunnally recoils down the lane, cut off, puts up a shot. It's partially blocked, and the rebound comes down to Reggie McDonald. 2-possession lead for Perry Meridian. Brinker's going back to the line as Matthew Brown fouls him.
Yeah, Brown's a little frustrated, and the one thing I would say is that if you're going to foul early, the advantage to fouling early on those is you're going to pick the guy that you can foul. This is not the guy you want to be fouling.
Yeah, Brinker is an 80% free throw shooter. He's hit his last 4. Brown now has 4. Eli Stevens and Damon Hockett also have 4. Brinker's first free throw is good, and it's now a 6-point Perry Meridian lead. Yeah, this is one that if the Dragons are unable to come back, this one's going to sting.
Yeah.
This was a game they had a double-digit lead, really in control, and it just got away from them at the end of the first half, early in the second half with some turnovers, and now they're down by 7 as Brinker hits both free throws. Nunnally puts up a 3 from the right wing and knocks it down, and he is fouled.
Was he?
Well, hold on. We've got a foul. Or
no, they called timeout on Trent Whitaker.
Wait. They called a
inadvertent whistle.
An inadvertent whistle, thinking that Trent Whitaker called timeout. Yeah. So the three-pointer counts. I saw the official signal a push, and I think he was signaling to Trent Whitaker something. Whatever the case, it's a minute to go. Perry Meridian with a 4-point lead. Brinker picks up his dribble, in a little bit of trouble, and now we have a foul call. And so Brinker will go back to the line as C.J. Oliver commits his second foul. Brinker's 6 of 8 from the line in this fourth quarter. He's hit 6 straight. It's a 2-possession game regardless. He hits the first free throw. And we'll have one more coming. This will be the 12th free throw attempt for Perry Meridian this quarter, their 23rd of the game. And he hits them both. New Palestine is 2 for 5 from the line, and they've only shot 2 free throws in the second half. And they came on the first possession. Now we have another whistle. We have a whistle where I think the officials are discussing things. And I think what happened is New Palestine rolled the ball in and the clock hadn't started, but of course the clock doesn't start until the ball's touched. So the Dragons will inbound mid-court, 55 seconds to go. And they'll inbound into the backcourt to Nunnally. With 53 seconds to go, Dragons trail by 6. Nunnally launches a 3 off the dribble, won't go. Stevens tips the rebound off the rim, no good. Eli Stevens gets the rebound again and is fouled under the basket. That is just the 6th team foul on Perry Meridian, so New Palestine will have to take it out of bounds. Trailing by 6. The
Which
Dragons
is probably, that's probably as good as anything because they're going to need 3-pointers and a lot of them. I assume at this point you're probably needing 3 possessions, which means you probably need to hit 3 threes.
They'll inbound into the corner to Nunnally. He drives baseline, gets himself in trouble, feeds Oliver. Now to Brassfield, catch and shoot 3 over. Taylor knocks it down.
Well, that's one of them.
So it's a 3-point game. Trent Whitaker will use his final timeout with 36.6 to go. We'll keep it here. New Palestine trails at 52-49. Now you need a steal. You need something.
Yeah.
You essentially need a stop. And the other key, New Palestine cannot stop the clock.
Right.
So if you score, Perry Meridian can take its time inbounding if you score.
Right. So you've got to score, if you're down by 3, of course, you can score once to tie it. So if you can get a steal here, but once you get past this point, if it's 2 possessions, you've got to score with at least 6 seconds left then.
Yeah, probably more like 10 because the count doesn't start until the team picks the ball up, and they can take their time picking it up. That's something that we used to coach our players to do in that situation.
That's like football players staying on top of somebody to, after a tackle. You don't have to roll off easy.
Yeah, exactly. Keep that thing moving here. 52-49, Perry Meridian leads. They have outscored New Palestine 20-16 here in the fourth quarter. The Dragons led it at one point, 29-14. The Falcons will inbound on the baseline against full court pressure. 36.6 to go. They get it into McDonald, and immediately Blaine Nunnally fouls him.
And that's the guy you want to foul.
Just 61%, although he's 4 for 4 today.
But he was also the one battling that wrist injury. It looks like he's fine, but.
So the Dragons have been masters of comebacks this season. Of course, they had the 15-point comeback in the fourth quarter against Newcastle. We'll have to stage another one here. McDonald's first free throw, front of the rim, no good. 35.9 to go. 52-49 is Perry Meridian's lead. McDonald has one more shot coming. Can make it a 2-possession game and does. That's his 5th point. All have come from the line. Inbounds to Blaine Nunnally. He'll pick it up, roar across midcourt, use a screen from Brown, drive into the lane, put it up with the right hand, can't get it to go. Brown fights to get the rebound. Stevens picks it up, puts it off glass and in.
Nice defense there, or nice offense, I should say.
11 for Stevens, and a foul is going to be called in the backcourt. The Dragon fans wanted Isaiah Brinker to be called for a charge, but
that was some Golden Globe level acting by Eli Stevens on top of everything else. He was trying, and that's the right thing to do because worst case scenario is you get called for a blocking foul there, which is essentially what you're looking to get anyway.
It ends up being Blaine Nunnally's 4th. It would have been Eli Stevens' 5th. Isaiah Brinker to the line. He's 8 for 10, all in the fourth quarter. And now 9 for 11. That gives Perry Meridian a 3-point lead with 22.3 to go. And Brinker's got one more shot coming, and it is good. And it's a two-possession game again. 55-51, 20 seconds to go as Nunnally crosses midcourt. Races down the lane, and he is fouled. He'll go to the line.
And that's not a shooting foul yet, though.
It's the 7th team foul,
oh, that is
so it will be
foul.
Yeah. Brinker's first. So Nunnally to the line.
I was initially thinking, oh, well, that's not such a bad foul, but that's really not what you want to do if you're Perry Meridian.
Nunnally's free throw, perfect. Cuts the deficit to 55-52. 8th point of the quarter, 14th of the game for Nunnally. He and Brassfield have all of the Dragons' points in the 4th quarter. Nunnally's second shot, good. 2-point game. Damon Hockett will check in and replace Blaine in the lineup.
No, he replaced Brown.
Or he replaces Brown, okay. Blaine was heading over to the bench too, as he's got 4 fouls. Hockett's got 4. Eli Stevens is out there with 4. Inbounds pass to McDonald, and Hockett will foul him with 16.8 to go, and that should be Hockett's 5th, that is.
I'm really surprised Perry Meridian inbounded it to McDonald and not to Brinker.
Yeah, Brinker has been automatic from the line. He's hit 10 straight. So Reggie McDonald to shoot a pair. He's 1 for 2 in this quarter. He's 5 for 6 from the game. It's a 55-53 Perry Meridian lead with 16.8 seconds to go. Falcons have been good from the line in this quarter. They're 12 for 16 in the quarter, and 21 for 27 for the game. And I think we're trying to sort out the lineup and the foul situation. John Alter, our official scorekeeper, chatting with the officials.
2 shots here.
And it is because the Dragons are well over the double bonus limit at this point. McDonald's first free throw rattles good. So it's a 3-point Falcon lead. One more coming. This could make it a 2-possession game, and does not. Off the front of the rim. Opportunity for New Palestine. Down 1, Nunnally across midcourt with 12 seconds to go. He'll back it up high with 9. Use Brown's screen. Pull up for 3, left wing. It's an air ball. Rebound tipped into the corner by Perry Meridian. The Dragons will have it out of bounds with 3.9 seconds to go.
And Steele Brassfield signaling to Blaine Nunnally, now everything has to be a 3. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You've got to tie it or lose it here.
Eli Stevens will inbound, baseline left. Nunnally and Brassfield. Brassfield catches, puts up a 3 out of the corner. It's good! He hit a follow-away 3 out of the corner, and we're going to overtime.
My goodness, just a fantastic effort by Steele Brassfield. Probably could have gotten a foul call there, and Trent Whitaker wanted every bit of that foul call, but he does not get it.
Steele Brassfield's 4th three-pointer of the 4th quarter. A follow-away 3 out of the corner. New Palestine ties it up at 56. We go to overtime. And what a finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, Steele Brassfield in this second half, really starting at about the 2-minute mark of the 3rd quarter to the 4th quarter, he has started to look and feel like the Steele Brassfield we had seen through the first 20 games of the season, and it looked like it took about a half and a quarter essentially for him to get back in that groove of being the guy that's going to put the team on his back when necessary. And boy, did he ever. That's 3 threes in the quarter for Brassfield.
Yeah, and he's got 18, and that was a heck of a comeback effort by New Palestine to get it to overtime after trailing by 7. And we will head to overtime now. Damon Hockett has fouled out. Stevens and Nunnally and Brown are all playing with 4 fouls.
Yeah, the 4 extra minutes here in overtime, that foul trouble becomes a much bigger issue.
Brassfield with 18, Nunnally with 15. Eli Stevens with 11 to lead New Palestine. Jaden Taylor with 25. Isaiah Brinker with 15 for Perry Meridian. Taylor tips the opening tip back to Reggie McDonald, and Perry Meridian will have the first possession of the extra session. McDonald with it, right wing. Up top for Joyce, over to the left wing for Mason Corsaro. Now to Brinker, left corner. He'll circle the arc and feed Joyce on the right side. Now to McDonald. Up top, Taylor catches right at the top of the key. Faces up Oliver, drives down the lane. And crowd wants an offensive foul, none coming. And the Perry Meridian Falcons maintain possession. Joyce on the left wing, guarded by Brown. Drives into the lane, pitches out to Brinker. He'll back it out to the top in the high circle. We extend this first possession that's had 45 seconds and counting. Here in overtime, Corsaro in the high circle north of the volleyball line. Brassfield guarding him. Feeds Taylor left wing. Oliver steps out on him. Taylor uses the screen, loses the handle in the lane. Joyce picks it up, able to clear it out to McDonald, and he pitches it out to Brinker to save the possession. Dragons like the defensive effort. Falcon fans like the patience, and Mark James is going to use his timeouts.
And I think what you're seeing here, and the Dragons have reacted better to the switch in how the game has to be played than Perry Meridian has. Perry Meridian had spent the last 4 minutes, last 2 minutes, I should say, of game time, but it feels like about 10 minutes of actual time, essentially waiting for the Dragons to foul them. And when they had to restart and have an actual offense that wasn't the 4 corners there, they looked a little lost, to be honest. A couple of times it looked like you had a possession or a position where C.J. Oliver could have been called for a foul. It looked like Jaden Taylor could have been called for a foul on the one time that he was able to touch the ball. But really outside of that, not a lot of movement on the Perry Meridian side. That's a testament to the Dragons digging in defensively and resetting themselves to, okay, this is what we have to do. This is how we have to play.
And so the Dragons, I think that's really a key, because and even before that, even with 4 minutes to go, they were essentially going to the old Dean Smith 4 corners, trying to kill the clock rather than showing the aggressiveness that they had earlier. Now you got to switch that mindset again in a tie game. 2:49 to go. Perry Meridian still on the first possession of overtime that has lasted now 1 minute and 15 seconds. The inbound to Isaiah Brinker. And he holds, brings it to the right wing. Now to McDonald between the circles. Back to Brinker, right wing. Both of these teams 1-0 in overtime. Joyce catches left wing, pulls up the free throw line, tries to lob it underneath to Taylor, loses the handle, stolen by Brassfield in the corner.
That was a beautiful job defensively by Eli Stevens and C.J. Oliver, collapsing on Taylor. First Oliver on the front, and then forced it to be a tough pass into him, and then Stevens was able to poke the ball away.
Blaine Nunnally brings it across a double screen, hooks it over to Brassfield, catch and shoot 3 left wing, around and out. That thing spun around 3 times and popped out. Would have given the Dragons a 3-point lead. Instead, Perry Meridian into the front court in a tie game. 1:55 to go in overtime. Oliver guarding Taylor, kicks it back up top to McDonald. As Perry Meridian looks like they're back to their 4 corners. Isaiah Brinker with it high right. Drives Nunnally to the right wing. Cut off, out to Taylor. Didn't handle it cleanly. Taylor drives inside, puts up a runner, won't go. Rebound fought for, taken out of there by Eli Stevens.
Oh, there's a lot more room underneath than I was afraid of. Once looked like Brassfield had tipped it, I was afraid that was going to go out of bounds, but there was enough room for the Dragons to recover under the basket.
Nunnally out high in the high circle, feeds Oliver on the right wing. Up top, Brassfield, left wing for Eli Stevens. Will feed Nunnally on the run, in the lane, puts up a shot over Joyce, high off the glass and in.
Really like the delay there by Nunnally. He went up, brought the ball back down, got the defender to commit, and then was able to put the shot up.
Jaden Taylor drives right side of the lane, cut off. He is fouled, no, travel. Jaden Taylor is called for a walk.
Well, I wouldn't say the New Pal fans are back on that referee's side, but they've warmed to him a bit after that call.
As the Dragons with a 58-56 lead, Perry Meridian showing man-to-man full court pressure. And the inbounds pass comes to C.J. Oliver. It's knocked free from him, out of bounds. It will stay with the Dragons. However, it's a spot inbounds now instead of being able to run the baseline. 56.6 seconds to go in overtime. Blaine Nunnally's basket, the only points. Lob into Steele Brassfield. He reaches up to catch it over Brinker, and Brinker hugs him. That'll be Brinker's second foul.
I'm not sure I understand that from Perry Meridian's side. I get you want to extend the game, but giving away the free throw attempts that quickly, that seems a bit of a panic move to me, to be honest.
Brassfield has 18 points. These will be his first free throws of the game. The Dragons as a team, just 4 for 7 from the line. They've not shot it often. This is a 1-and-1, and Brassfield hits it off the front of the rim, no good.
And like all strategic decisions that I question, it works out for them.
Taylor with a high right. Dragons lead it by 2. 45 seconds to go in overtime. Crosses over, crosses back over to the right wing, and now brings it up top to Isaiah Brinker. Perry Meridian spreading the floor. Brassfield guarding Brinker with 35 seconds to Taylor. He'll use Joyce's screen. Brown switches out onto Taylor. Got away with a walk. Put it off the glass. Won't go. Rebound comes down to Blaine Nunnally, and he is fouled. Reggie McDonald fouls him, and Perry Meridian fouling intentionally really early in the possessions.
I mean, with as well as you've been able to force the Dragons to some turnovers at the top of the key, I would at least maybe let them initiate the offense a little bit, but and especially before fouling the best free throw shooter that the Dragons have.
Nunnally is 3 for 3 tonight. He has 17 points, including the only 2 for either team in overtime. And he hits the front end of the 1-and-1. That hit the front of the rim and dropped in. Noah Pendleton is back in for Perry Meridian, the first time we've seen him in a long time, as John Joyce sits. Nunnally can make this a 2-possession game for New Palestine with his second free throw. 59-56 is the lead, and it is now 60-56. Blaine's got 19, 27.2 seconds to go in the extra session. Reggie McDonald across midcourt. Clears to Pendleton. He launches a 3 from the right wing, front of the rim, no good. Brinker has the rebound, knocked out of his hands by Nunnally. Blaine will bring it up court. Taylor fouls him, and Blaine will go to the line to shoot a pair with 17 seconds to go in the game.
That was textbook what the Dragons wanted defensively. You get a guy that hadn't played in 10 minutes, and he's the guy taking the jump shot. They'll take that all day. Then on the rebound, ball is poked free, and it ends up in Nunnally's hands.
So Blaine with 2 free throws as Perry Meridian over the double bonus limit, and he hits the first. It's a 5-point New Palestine lead. Dragons led it by 15 in the second quarter, trailed it by 7 in the final 2 minutes, tied it up on Steele Brassfield's 3 out of the corner, and now have a 5-point lead in overtime. And it is now 6. Nunnally has all 6 points for either team in the extra session. McDonald across midcourt. Pulls up for 3 from the right wing. Back of the rim, no good. Brassfield with a rebound, and he is fouled. 9.6 seconds to go. Steele Brassfield can put the cherry on top of this one.
Absolutely. You make the first one, make it a 3-possession game, then push it over to, miss the second one so that the clock starts running, and then get the heck off the court.
And, we said earlier when New Palestine was down 7-8, if this one got away, it would sting. If they're able to finish this one off, this one will really, I think, end up being a pretty sweet one. Brassfield hits the first free throw.
Yeah, absolutely. A big free throw there. This is going to sting Perry Meridian for sure.
63-56. New Palestine in the lead. The Dragons have outscored the Falcons now 8-0 in overtime as Brassfield hits both for his 20th point. 3-possession game, 9 seconds to go. Taylor will push it up across midcourt, pull up for 3 with a hand in his face. No good, gets his own rebound, lays it up and in, and that's how the game will end. The New Palestine Dragons rally late in the fourth quarter after surrendering a 15-point lead, tie it on Steele Brassfield's triple out of the left corner, and win it in overtime, 64-56. We will take a break. When we come back, it'll be time for the D&D Strictly Storage Best in Sight Family Eye Care post-game show That commences momentarily. This is Dragon Basketball on newpalradio.com. Our broadcast presented by All-Star Turf Management.
All-Star Turf Management is the best choice for the lawn you really want. Our superior lawn care services, including fertilizer, weed control, aerations, mowing, and more, are designed to improve and maintain your property season after season. Our combination of using the highest quality chemical products applied by educated, licensed professionals is what your property needs to become a place we both will be proud of. With flexible scheduling and service programs, we have a package that's right for your lawn and your budget. Locally owned and operated by Nathan Johnson, All-Star Turf Management is proud to support the New Palestine community and Dragon Athletics. To learn more or for a free estimate, call All-Star Turf Management at 861-1234 or visit myallstarlawn.com. That's 861-1234 or myallstarlawn.com for All-Star Turf Management. D&D Strictly Storage in New Palestine is your home for storage needs. D&D Strictly Storage offers a wide variety of storage sizes from 5 by 10 feet up to 10 by 30 feet. They also offer indoor and outdoor parking for your boats and RVs. Locally owned and operated by Don and Maria Blackwell, D&D Strictly Storage is who to call for your storage solution. They're located on County Road 400 West, just north of the railroad tracks in New Palestine. Call them at 861-9231. Again, that's 861-9231 for D&D Strictly Storage. Mention this ad and get your second month free with any rental.
Best in Sight Eye Care has been the leader of quality vision and eyewear in New Palestine for more than 20 years. Our experienced doctors, Tim Huffman, Mark Habig, and Colin Clairbout, use the most advanced state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. At Best in Sight Eye Care, you will find professionals who are dedicated to providing exceptional personal service to everyone who walks through the door. We are conveniently located on Arbor Lane in New Palestine. Just follow US 52 west of Mount Comfort Road. To schedule your appointment, visit bestinsighteyecare.com or call 861-4100. Give your vision the level of care it deserves. Mention this ad for 10% off your glasses purchase.
Now, back to the action on newpalradio.com.
Final score from the Dragons' Den. An early afternoon game today, but a fruitful one for New Palestine, a roller coaster game. The Dragons win at 64-58 over Perry Meridian in overtime. Along with Mike Petrie, I'm Andrew Smith on the D&D Strictly Storage Best in Sight Family Eye Care post-game show. And for the Dragons, a heck of a comeback as they led it by 15, then surrendered an 18-0 run to surrender the lead that bridged halftime, and then fell down 7 late and extended the game. Steele Brassfield hit a couple of big threes. Blaine Nunnally hit a big three in that stretch. And then Brassfield a follow-away three out of the corner to send it to overtime. And then the Dragons really took care of business in overtime. Blaine Nunnally with the basket. But I think the real key was forcing turnovers on Perry Meridian's first 2 possessions when they were trying to spread the floor and control the game.
Yeah, getting the game into overtime, really once they had it in overtime, the Dragons were able to reimpose what they had done at the start of the game. And, you know, the first half, we talked a lot about the balance that the Dragons were showing. Well, the flip side to that is that the Stars were not imposing themselves on the game, and that's fine as long as you're leading. The second half, when they needed Blaine Nunnally and when they needed Steele Brassfield, maybe a little later than Coach Whitaker would have liked, but they showed up and they showed out, and they did exactly what the Dragons needed them to do.
And you saw that in the fourth quarter. Steele Brassfield hit 4 threes.
Yeah.
And including the one at the buzzer. Blaine Nunnally had 9 points in the quarter and then 6 more in overtime. Those 2 guys combined had all but 2 of New Palestine's 31 points. They combined for 29 points in the fourth quarter in overtime.
Yeah, just a fantastic effort from those 2. And again, I wonder how much of that was Steele probably was not practicing a whole lot this past week. He finally looked comfortable in the second half. You know, emblematic of how uncomfortable he had been, C.J. Oliver takes the opening tip instead of Steele. When it got to overtime, Steele was the guy taking the tip.
Yeah, and that certainly paid off. And I think the other thing that and part of this is because Perry Meridian really tried to take the air out of the ball in the final 4 minutes of the game. But Jaden Taylor, from the end of the third quarter, when Perry trailed it 33-32, he scored early in the fourth, had an early three-point play. But from the end of the third quarter to the final possession of overtime, when New Palestine just basically let him hit a late layup to seal the end of the game, he had 5 points in the fourth quarter, and I think that was really a key as well, as they limited him and made the other guys beat them. And Isaiah Brinker certainly tried. He had 13 in the fourth quarter. A lot of those late free throws, but they really did a good job, and then fouling the right people in the final minute as well.
As much as anything, that was the big key, was making sure they fouled McDonald instead of Brinker on that last possession. A lot of it was the Dragons got the matchups that they wanted at the end of the game there, and then they were able to take advantage.
And so Coach Whitaker is on his way to join us for our post-game head coaches report on the D&D Strictly Storage Best in Sight Family Eye Care post-game show. And so welcome Coach here. And Coach, this was a bit of a roller coaster. You guys had a tremendous start and found yourself having to come back late, but the thing about this team, there's no quit in it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we talked about. And before the game, we've been talking all along, we got to get off to a great start, and we did that. And then the first half ended on a bad note. We just turned the ball over, and they got a dunk there to make it a 9-point game. But I think we scored 4 points in the third quarter. So that's the one kind of let them back in the ball game and take absolutely control of the game. But we were, I think, a couple times dead in the water, but they didn't quit. And
really, I think as big as anything, we can talk about the 3 steal hit in the fourth quarter, but when they got it to overtime, they won the tip. You were disciplined defensively. They tried to take the air out of the ball. You forced 2 turnovers in their first 2 possessions, and that gave you the opportunity to take the lead, and then you could play the game on your terms instead of theirs.
Definitely, and just to give a shout out to C.J. Oliver for his defense. I mean, I know Taylor still got his, what he ended up with, probably 28. He got his average, but he worked for every single one of them, and we took them out of their offense for the most part, and he got a couple late, but C.J. did a great job on him. The other kids definitely had the game plan where we helped, and they did a good job.
You mentioned that. I think a big key, other than that last basket at the end of overtime, Taylor only had 5 points in the fourth quarter, and you really limited his touches. Just talk about the defensive game plan that you had. He had his 28, but you were able to limit, in a lot of ways, everybody else and prevent other guys from hurting you. And really prevent him from hurting you as well.
Right. We talked all week. It's he averages 26 and they score 50 or whatever it is. So half their points come from him, and he's going to get his. But CJ got up in him a little bit, and every time he came off a screen, there was somebody there to catch him. So that's what we definitely wanted him to happen. If he cut through the lane, we needed somebody to hedge him. Matthew Brown enjoys that a little bit, so he hit him every time we went through the lane, and we caught all the curls. So overall, every single guy that played tonight did a great job, and a lot of guys got in and absolutely at some point in time helped us get that win.
So you look, especially in the first half, when you built that 15-point lead, 8 players played, 7 scored, and you had really, really good balance. And as teams try to take Blaine and steal away, that's going to be key.
Right, and it's one of those things that I think we were 9 of 10 from 2-point range in the first half. 3 of 9 from threes. Thanks, Sean. And we talked about just get the ball in the paint. Matthew does a great job of either scoring or kicking out.
Well, now you've got to head back into conference play, back on the road next week against Shelbyville. It's been nice to have a little bit of time off after a really busy stretch at the end of January. Now you can really roll into that final stretch of the season.
Yeah, and it's Shelbyville's going to be a big game for us for the fact that we're 3-2 in conference, and a lot of guys are 3-4 or right around that area. So it could definitely be a difference between second place and sixth place at this point in time.
Well, Coach Trent Whitaker, congratulations on the win. Thanks for joining us. That's head coach Trent Whitaker joining us on the post-game show. The Dragons victorious 64-58 over the Perry Meridian Falcons. We'll bring Mike Petrie back in here and go over the final scoring numbers first. Blaine Nunnally finishes with 21 points. He had 6 at the end of the third quarter. He had 9 in the fourth and 6 in overtime. Steele Brassfield with 20. He had 4 threes in the fourth quarter, and scored 14 of his 20 in the fourth quarter in overtime. Eli Stevens with 11, 9 of those came in the first half. He had a really good game, another double-figure game for him. That is his third of the season and his first since the third week of the season. The last time he scored double figures was against Greenfield Central back on December 10th. C.J. Oliver with 5 first-half points, Matthew Brown with 4, Luke Burgess with 2, Damon Hockett with 1, Kyle Bastian played but did not score. Jaden Taylor led the way for Perry Meridian with 28, Isaiah Brinker with 15. He had 13 in the fourth quarter, including 10 free throws. Also, John Joyce had 7, Reggie McDonald 6, Mason Corsaro 2, Zach Douglas, Patrick Schott, and Noah Pendleton all played but did not score. 14-10 New Palestine led after a quarter. Led at 29-20 after a 15-10 second quarter at halftime. Perry Meridian outscored the Dragons 12-4 in the third, cut the lead to 33-32, and then outscored New Palestine 24-23 in the fourth quarter to see it knotted up at 56, and then New Palestine with an 8-2 overtime period wins it 64-58. And Mike, we could break this one down all day. We don't have all day, though. We've got to jet up to Muncie. You've got to jet up to Muncie for the girls basketball sectional final that will tip off in about 3.5 hours between the Dragons and Mount Vernon. But this was one that whoever wins it is going to feel really, really good about the way they came back and showed resiliency. Whoever loses it is it's gonna sting because that's a game that they had in hand and let get away. And it turned out that we thought the tables are going to be flipped there in the fourth quarter. Steele Brassfield and Blaine Donnelly do their thing late, and all of a sudden New Palestine comes away with a win. And I think they've got to be feeling really good. A win over a big Marion County school, a good team that can really propel you into this last 5-game stretch of the season.
Yeah, there were so many stretches there where the Dragons just played so well. It almost all came apart in, I would say, maybe about a 10-minute stretch towards the end of the third quarter, or end of the second quarter to the beginning of the third quarter. But outside of that, they really outplayed Perry Meridian for the vast majority of this game, so it's better that they're able to get the win. You just wipe your brow and say, thank goodness, and move forward.
And so the Dragons will do that. Friday night, they will travel to Shelbyville for a 7:30 tip-off. Mike and I will have the broadcast for you on radio only on Friday night. And about 7:20, 7:25, we'll be on air with you. The next two on the road. Friday at Shelbyville, Saturday at Connorsville. You get a chance to play in two of the really great gyms in this part of the state. And then the next home game will be on the 19th of February. That'll be our next YouTube broadcast when the Mount Vernon Marauders come to visit. Mike and Chris Lambert will have the call on that one. And we look ahead to the girls basketball sectional championship game tonight. Dragons taking on Mount Vernon. 4th straight year they've met in the tournament. And interestingly, the team that has won the regular season matchup has not won in the tournament the last 3 years, and obviously Coach Sarah Gizzi and the Dragons hoping that holds tonight as they take on the Marauders.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no secrets among these two teams. They know exactly what the opponents are going to bring, and it should be a great battle. As much as anything, trying to avoid the, pattern of it ping-ponging back and forth between New Pal and Mount Vernon, the sectional championship. They're trying to win for the second year in a row here. And, everybody that is on the court has, for every season that they've played, either New Pal or Mount Vernon has won that sectional. So, this is how the sectional championship should be decided, and I'm looking forward to a great one.
Yeah, they're already here, and a few of them are shooting around on the floor in front of us, getting ready to get on the bus and head to Muncie. And so that will be our next broadcast. About 6:50, Mike and Jarrett Lewis will be on with you, radio only, newpalradio.com. Tonight, the Dragon girls basketball team against the Mount Vernon Marauders. A couple other scores from the conference boys action today. Delta beat Mississinewa 55-46. And a couple of games featuring upcoming opponents for New Palestine. Greenwood beat Greenfield Central 51-34, and Mount Vernon fell to Noblesville 62-52. Here in overtime, New Palestine knocks off Perry Meridian 64-58. We will be back with you tonight in about 3.5 hours, 6:50 airtime, as the Dragons take on the Mount Vernon Marauders girls basketball sectional championship game. That'll be on radio only at newpalradio.com. Until then, this is Andrew Smith for Mike Petrie saying good day. So long, everybody. Our final score again. In overtime, New Palestine 64, Perry Meridian 58. This has been a presentation of the Crosscom Sports Network with the assistance